Hello team, it's me again to do a little bit of debunking. This is Jonathan M.S. Pierce from ATP Geopolitics, and I was looking at the comments onto my video this morning, my first news piece video on hits and losses of the last 24 hours, and one of the pro-Kremlin voices in my threads that spreads rampant nonsense on a regular basis is Nikos G, and he said, "Ooh, Jonathan, you forgot to say something on your hits and losses, lol," because of course, death and destruction is hilarious. The Russians published footage from the Kherson direction. The American HIMARS system was located almost on the very shore of the Dnipro. As a result of a precise artillery strike, the Ukrainian multiple launch rocket system was destroyed. Was it? Was it? No, it wasn't. No. So where's he getting this information from? Let's have a look at this. In this case, rampant nonsense. Actually, we can go to look at Military Summary, which is an overtly pro-Russian channel. The thumbnail to the video is very clear, and I just want to give you a bit of a lesson here in clickbait and in lying. Hopefully I never do this, and call me out if I do. But this is a lie on the front here. HIMARS was destroyed. Oh, let's have a look at this, because that looks really interesting. HIMARS was destroyed. Let's click on the Military Summary video to see evidence of the HIMARS being destroyed.
You're on the Military Summary channel, and this short video we're going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous night of the local time. First, we're going to start with Kherson direction. Today, the Russian sources published a very interesting video how they managed to discover the Ukrainian HIMARS system in the vicinity of the village by the name of Molodezhne. On this footage, you can see how the Ukrainians were attacking the Russian forces with HIMARS.
Yes.
I'm not saying, and this author of this video didn't tell us that this video was made like yesterday, the day before yesterday. Probably this video was made a few weeks or even months ago.
So the first caveat is it might have happened today, but it doesn't say that, so it might have happened yesterday or a few weeks ago or a few months ago. Okay, so there's a fairly wide range, but chronology doesn't really matter. Let's see, the HIMARS was destroyed.
But after the system launched every single missile it had, the Ukrainians took a decision, obviously, to redeploy these machines somewhere in the safe area. The Russians followed this system, and when the Ukrainians tried to hide that HIMARS, the Russians started bombing this territory. So basically, probably according to, if I'm wrong, correct me, this is the first footage from the Russians.
Basically, probably, if I'm wrong, correct me. So basically, probably, it's just already we've got a good, probably, got a good 20% off, like, certainty here, at least. So probably, correct me if I'm wrong,
side of HIMARS, and this is the first footage from the Russian side of HIMARS, and this is probably the
Okay, so this is the first footage of HIMARS. Okay, I can go with that. It probably is the first footage from Russian drones of a HIMARS. And then he says, and probably
only footage from the Russian side of HIMARS, and this is probably the only evidence that Russians have that they managed to attack and to bomb the territory where the Ukrainians tried to hide this system.
Oh, hang on. And this is probably the first footage of what? Of HIMARS being destroyed? Probably the first footage of HIMARS being destroyed. That's, I'm surely, what he said.
HIMARS, and this is probably the only evidence that Russians have that they managed to attack and to bomb the territory.
This is the first evidence we have that the Russians managed to attack and bomb the territory
where the Ukrainians tried to hide.
Where the Ukrainians tried to hide the HIMARS.
This system. When talking about the map.
And then he goes, that's it. So, hang on, where's the evidence it was destroyed? You've told us on the thumbnail, HIMARS was destroyed. And now you said it's probably the first evidence that we've seen where the Russians have attacked the territory where a HIMARS was hiding. And then he goes on to geolocate that.
The Ukrainians launched their missiles somewhere from HIMARS system in this forest, and after that the Russians start bombing this territory with artillery rounds somewhere, let's say from Pistepne.
So then he's kind of guessing where they're firing artillery from, into that area.
Bombing this territory. So very interesting footage, but yet we haven't received like a real footage that the HIMARS was destroyed as a result of this or that artillery or missile strike.
Hang on, he said on the thumbnail HIMARS was destroyed. What's he just submitted there?
So very interesting footage, but yet we haven't received like a real footage that the HIMARS was destroyed as a result of.
So we haven't received footage that's been destroyed. So what's Nikos talking about then? Because I'm sure he's talking about that, because that's Military Summary's video that came out today. So this is where I get a little bit annoyed, because people, I know I make mistakes sometimes, but I'm fairly sure I wouldn't make that kind of mistake, or I'd hopefully correct it publicly if I did. But this just takes the tiniest bit of research, just the tiniest, from Nikos here to see, oh, I wonder if that's definitely true. Or from Military Summary here. So let's go to Twitter, and I'm going to test this out. So HIMARS destroyed. See if we can find this footage. No, that's that helicopter from the other day. That's when the HIMARS damaged the helicopter, didn't destroy it. No. Yes. Okay. So that's from 20 hours away. Russian sources claiming they destroyed a HIMARS. Pretty sure I've seen this footage before. Okay, let's. Yeah. Oh look, there's a military lab again. Oh look, another HIMARS was destroyed here, and then another there. Destroyed HIMARS for everyone. Okay, so what's he? Let's go. Let's bring this up. February the 20th. It's not a week ago. It's not a couple of weeks ago. It's not a couple of months ago. This was 9 months ago. So this footage is 9 months old. Let's see what it actually shows, shall we? Let's pull this on to full size. Okay. Sorry, I can't read the Russian here. I just want to check what the actual what the Twitter handle here states of this. Description is: first time in the war, HIMARS launch is spotted by a Russian drone. I could agree with that. I have no reason to disbelieve that. And it doesn't really matter. They tried to destroy it. With a counter-battery fire, but it was too late and extremely inaccurate. Okay, so this is not having been destroyed. Okay, let's have a look at this. Take off the music if you don't mind. So here we have HIMARS firing. Fair enough. Okay, it fires off. I'm going to forward wind this. So you don't need to see that. So it fires off. So it fires all its rockets, and then I presume we lose sight of it. And is that it there? I don't know if you guys can see, there's some movement, and that looks like that's a HIMARS there driving along a road. And then, but possibly behind a building. And then it zooms in, and maybe it wasn't. We'll see. And then, so we've still got 10 seconds left. There's a vehicle. Oh, here it is. Vehicle there. Is that the HIMARS? And then we have artillery fire in the fields. I'm going to see if I can find some more footage of that. Bear with me a second. Right, I found another one of the same footage. This one from 12 hours ago, talking, yeah, the Russians killed a HIMARS. So this is someone claiming this is, I presume, implying it's just happened recently. Let's see. This is the same footage, and we've got that vehicle traveling down this road here. Then I presume that's the same vehicle cutting, and then we've got a tree line receiving some artillery fire. There's no sign of that vehicle. There's no sign of that vehicle there. How's this has killed a HIMARS? I don't get it. And then it cycles back around to the beginning. I don't understand how. Well, I do understand, because I presume these people are. There's either two things. Either this is disinformation, so they're doing this on purpose, and trying to get away with it, or they want it to be true that much that they are willing to overlook. So it's called confirmation bias, so that they will ascribe more value and more integrity to supposedly to data that supposedly supports their conclusion than to arguments and data against their conclusion. And so, they end up confirming their own presupposed conclusions. HIMARS, again, here we have a military summary. HIMARS was destroyed with that bit of footage that he's shown. In fact, that's the same print as this one. That is the same watermark as that on the corner. So he's using that same footage, and I presume it's not cut in any way. He didn't show any extra footage on there. And military summary's description here is: the Russians published footage from the Kherson region. The American HIMARS system was located almost on the very shore of the Dnipro. As a result of precise artillery strike, the Ukrainian multiple launch rocket system was destroyed. Information is coming. He said it was destroyed, and then said this.
Bombing this territory with artillery rounds. Somewhere, let's say from Pistepne, they were bombing this territory. So very interesting footage, but yet we haven't received like a real footage that the HIMARS was destroyed as a result of this or that artillery or missile strike.
I don't understand. Like, you've just told us, you've just done the description to the video. It's literally the thumbnail you use for that video. And you've told your audience it has been destroyed, and then you've done the video and said we haven't yet received video evidence that HIMARS has been destroyed. Anyway, Nikos G, this is kind of don't cry wolf. It's inductive reasoning. This happens time and time again. The stuff you say, I have good reason not to believe you, so I don't read. This is the one rare occasion where I've actually read something you've written in the last 6 months. I basically ignore everything you say because you've got a track record of spouting nonsense. So anyway, there you go. I don't think HIMARS has been destroyed. It may have been destroyed. There may be evidence out there that shows that it has been destroyed. I would imagine that if a HIMARS had been destroyed and that drone, you see that drone was in the air, it would have tracked that HIMARS. You wouldn't cut the part out where the HIMARS goes into the trees and it gets hit, and those trees get hit by the artillery, and you presume an explosion would take place because he's talked about accurate fire from the artillery. So that drone is in the air. So if it happened, you would get that on footage, and the Russians would be shouting all day long about that. That happened in February. 9 months ago. Just coming out now as some kind of recycle for disinformation purposes. Because if there was conclusive evidence that HIMARS had been blown up, you would know about it. The Russians would be shouting about it. Military summary wouldn't have said, we haven't seen kind of conclusive evidence that one has been blown up, was presenting a thumbnail that indicated that actually they had. And indeed, giving a description to the video on his Twitter account that the system was destroyed. This is debunked as far as I'm concerned until other information can prove otherwise. I'm happy to be shown to be wrong. I'm not wrong with the information I have. I can be assured of that. HIMARS might be blown up. It's just that doesn't show it. And you should be more honest. You should be more honest.